Peppa Pig and the Halloween costume. It's almost Halloween. I love trick-or-treating, says Peppa. And jack-o'-lanterns. I love dressing up. George loves Halloween too. Peppa is trying to decide what she wants to be. I know, says Peppa. I will be a pirate. I will sail the high seas and hunt for buried treasure. But I'm going to be a pirate, says Danny Dog. I even have an eye patch.
Wow.
Maybe I'll be a clown instead, says Peppa. I will do a juggling act. I'm dressing up as a clown, said Pedro Pony. I have big clown shoes and a funny red nose. Okay, says Peppa. Maybe I will be a nurse. I will make everyone feel better. But Peppa, says Susie Sheep, I am dressing up as a nurse. Peppa frowns. Well then, I'll be a witch, with a pointy black hat and a broom. Peppa, says Candy Cat, I already have my costume, pointy black hat, broom. I'm a witch. George has an idea for Peppa. Dinosaur! Peppa does not want to dress up as a dinosaur. Peppa thinks she'd like to be a brave space traveller. But that idea is taken. Oh no! She even considers dressing up as a vegetable. Sorry, says Rebecca Rabbit. What can I be for Halloween? Asks Peppa. Maybe a brave cowboy, a happy tiger, a sparkly ballerina. Peppa thinks and thinks. Then she has an idea. I will be a brave, happy, sparkly fairy princess. Peppa likes her wings, crown and wand, but her costume is not quite perfect. Peppa thinks that maybe there is something missing. That's it! Even fairy princesses need muddy puddle boots. Happy Halloween! The end. Peppa and Family. Peppa loves her family. Sometimes they all meet up for a picnic. Mummy and Daddy Pig bring the sandwiches. Granny and Grandpa Pig bring the cakes. Uncle and Auntie Pig bring the fruit.
Hooray!
Peppa, calls Cousin Chloe, sit next to me. Peppa skips across the grass. Yay! George is Peppa's little brother. He likes dinosaurs, puddles, and tickles. On wet days, Peppa and George put on their boots and go outside.
Wow.
There's a puddle, says Peppa. Let's jump in it. George giggles. George loves splashing in puddles with his big sister Peppa. Mummy Pig is a clever, busy mummy. Sometimes she works quietly on her computer. Sometimes she enjoys going to noisy birthday parties with Peppa and George. Whee! Shouts Mummy Pig. This is fun! Goodbye! bouncing, Mummy, says Peppa. Daddy Pig is a cheerful, kind daddy. He likes watching racing cars on TV. On Father's Day, Peppa and George make a special card for Daddy Pig. "Oh," he gasps, "what a lot of glitter." The card has made Daddy Pig all sparkly. "It says that you are the bestest daddy in the whole world," cheers Peppa. "Hooray!" Granny Pig enjoys cooking and baking. She loves making tasty things for Peppa and George to eat. "Let's pick some strawberries," says Granny Pig. "We can put them in a cake." "Can we help you make it?" asks Peppa. Granny Pig laughs. "Of course!" Peppa fills up her basket. She loves visiting the strawberry farm with Granny Pig. Grandpa Pig has lots of hobbies.
Wow!
He likes gardening, boating, and bird watching. "Every time we see a bird, I put a tick in my book," says Grandpa Pig. "Bird!" cries George. "Well done, George," says Peppa. "That's a pigeon." Grandpa Pig fills his book with ticks. George has spotted lots of pigeons. Uncle and Auntie Pig live far away. Peppa likes to visit for sleepovers. "Hello, Peppa," says Auntie Pig. "Hello, George." "Come in," says Uncle Pig. "You must be tired after your long journey." "We are," replies Mummy Pig. "I'm not tired at all," says Peppa, running inside to see her cousins. Cousin Chloe and baby Alexander are Peppa's favourite cousins. Cousin Chloe is big and grown up. Baby Alexander is still very small. "It's baby Alexander's bath time," says Cousin Chloe. "Do you want to help, Peppa?" "Yes, please," says Peppa. Baby Alexander laughs. He likes splashing about in the water. Peppa loves her family. Everyone loves Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig and the Family Reunion. Peppa and George are very excited. Today the pig family is having a reunion.
Wow!
Everyone in the family will be there. "You've brought pie," says Peppa. "I love pie." Says George. Uncle Pig and Auntie Pig unpack the car. They have brought a lot of stuff for the baby. Daddy Pig helps Uncle Pig unload a high chair, some baby toys, a stroller, and even a bathtub. Peppa likes baby Alexander. "Would you like to help feed the baby?" asks Auntie Pig. "Oh yes," says Peppa. She tries to feed baby Alexander. He turns away. Peppa tries again. The baby won't open his mouth. "Oh no!" "Try playing an airplane," says Auntie Pig. She shows Peppa how to fly the spoon into baby Alexander's mouth. It works. "Can you say airplane?" asks Peppa. Baby Alexander can't talk yet. Peppa wants to teach baby Alexander to talk. "Can you say dinosaur?" "Ka ka," says baby Alexander. Later that night, It's time to put baby Alexander to bed. But he doesn't sleep for long.
What's that noise?
asked Peppa. Baby Alexander is awake.
No, what's that other noise? That's a vacuum cleaner,
says Chloe. Why are you vacuuming at night? asked Daddy Pig. And why is Auntie Pig playing a trumpet? Loud noises are the best way to get baby Alexander to sleep, shouts Uncle Pig. We are a very noisy family. It is a very noisy night. After breakfast the next morning, everyone goes for a walk. Peppa tries to teach baby Alexander a new word.
Look, a bird,
says Peppa.
Caw, caw.
Says baby Alexander.
Sky,
says Peppa.
Caw, caw.
Says baby Alexander. Then it's time for the family reunion lunch. They are having Peppa's favourite, spaghetti. Daddy Pig and Uncle Pig love spaghetti too. Both of them ask for more. For dessert, everyone has a piece of Granny Pig's pie.
Hooray! Yum,
Peppa says to baby Alexander.
Caw, caw.
Says baby Alexander. Chloe has brought her puppet theatre, and she and Peppa and George put on a puppet show.
Wow!
They make a Chloe puppet, a Peppa puppet, and a dinosaur puppet for George. Everyone claps after the puppet show. Well, almost everyone. Daddy Pig and Uncle Pig have fallen asleep. Peppa and Chloe go outside to play before the reunion is over. Baby Alexander likes to watch them play in the mud.
Look, baby Alexander,
says Peppa.
We're jumping up and down in muddy puddles.
And then it happens. Baby Alexander says his first word.
Puddles.
Well done, baby Alexander. Well done, Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig, Doctors. It is playtime. Peppa and Pedro Pony are playing in the garden when they hear a squeak from up in a tree.
What's that noise?
asks Pedro. He looks up and gasps.
It's Tiddles the tortoise. Don't worry, Tiddles. We can get you down. I'll just shake this tree and...
Whoosh! Tiddles falls from the tree and bumps Pedro's nose on the way down.
Ouch!
shouts Pedro. Madame Gazelle comes to help. Oh dear, what happened? she asks.
Tiddles fell on Pedro's nose,
says Peppa. Madame Gazelle calls the doctor. Dr. Brown Bear hurries over. Where is the patient? he asks.
My nose hurts,
says Pedro. Dr. Brown Bear gives Pedro a green plaster for his nose. That will make it better, says Dr. Brown Bear.
Hooray! My glasses fell in the mud,
says Pedro. You'll need an optician to fix them, says Dr. Brown Bear. The optician arrives. It is Dr. Pony. He is Pedro's daddy. Can you please read this chart for me, Pedro? says Dr. Pony.
I can't see. My glasses aren't working,
says Pedro.
Dr. Pony spots the problem. "These glasses just need a good clean," says Dr. Pony. He carefully wipes away the mud and gives the clean glasses back to Pedro. "I can see again," says Pedro. "Hooray!" "Thank you, doctors. Everything is back to normal," says Madame Gazelle. "But Tiddles needs helping too," cries Peppa. "Can you doctors help a tortoise in trouble?" asks Madame Gazelle. "I'm afraid not, but we know someone who can," replies Dr. Pony. "I'll call them now." Dr. Hamster the vet arrives. "Tiddles fell out of the tree," Pedro tells Dr. Hamster. "Tiddles, you little pickle," says Dr. Hamster. She flips him over so he can stand up again. All of a sudden, Dr. Elephant the dentist appears. "Hello, I heard there was an emergency. Are everyone's teeth okay?" he asks. "Yes, thank you," everyone answers. Dr. Elephant sets off on his way. "My car won't start," cries Dr. Elephant. None of the doctors know what to do. "I know who to call," says Madame Gazelle. "Grandad Dog's breakdown service." Grandad Dog arrives. He opens up the car bonnet and has a look. "Right, now try the engine," he says. Dr. Elephant's car has been fixed. "Hooray! Grandad Dog is a car doctor," cheers Peppa. There are doctors for everything, even cars. Everyone loves doctors. The end.
Peppa Pig, Mummy Pig's Blackberries. Peppa and her family are visiting Granny and Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig is going to make a delicious apple and blackberry crumble.
"I need some brave explorers to go and get the fruit,"
says Granny Pig. "Aye, aye, Granny Pig," everyone replies. "First we need to pick the apples," says Mummy Pig.
"That's the easy bit,"
says Grandpa Pig.
"On the count of 3, shake the tree. 1, 2, 3.
Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George all shake the tree. Apples fall from the branches.
Hooray!
Peppa and George catch them in their baskets as they fall.
"This is fun,"
says Peppa. Now it's time to collect the blackberries, says Mummy Pig.
"Why can't we just have an apple crumble?"
asks Grandpa Pig. Because blackberries are tasty too, says Mummy Pig, leading everyone to a gigantic blackberry bush. This bush has been here since I was a little piggy.
"Ouch!"
cries George. He has pricked himself on one of the thorns.
Ouch!
"Careful, George, you might get tangled,"
says Grandpa Pig.
"I use a stick for picking hard-to-reach blackberries."
Wow!
Grandpa Pig uses his stick to pull down the branches that are hard to reach. Mummy Pig climbs her ladder. The best blackberries are right at the very top of the bush, she says.
"Don't lean too far over,"
says Daddy Pig. Don't worry, says Mummy Pig. I've been climbing this blackberry bush since I was a little girl. Mummy Pig stretches as far as she can to reach the juiciest blackberries. Ooh, she cries. Mummy Pig has fallen into the blackberry bush and can't get out. Just then, Susie Sheep arrives. "Hello, Peppa," says Susie. "Hello, Susie," says Peppa. "My mummy is stuck in the blackberry bush. She's like Sleeping Beauty," says Susie. "I know that story," cries Peppa. "There was a princess called Sleeping Beauty," begins Peppa. "One day she fell asleep in a thorny bush and stayed there for 100 years. "That's a nice story, Peppa," says Mummy Pig. "But can someone think of a way to get me out of here?" Daddy Pig uses Grandpa Pig's pruners to cut the blackberry bush. Daddy Pig has rescued Mummy Pig. "My prince," says Mummy Pig. "Mummy is a blackberry bush," says Peppa, giggling. Everyone picks up blackberries from Mummy Pig and heads back to Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. "Granny," says Peppa excitedly, "Mummy got stuck in a blackberry bush and Daddy rescued her." "I don't want to see another blackberry in my life," says Mummy Pig. "So you don't want any apple and blackberry crumble then?" asked Granny Pig. "Maybe just a little," says Mummy Pig. The end.
Peppa's Australian Underwater Adventure. Peppa was very excited. She had just won a Great Barrier Reef art competition at the aquarium.
"Congrats, Peppa," said Miss Rabbit. "Your prize is to join me on a marine biology trip to Australia."
Wow!
"Hooray!" cheered Peppa. "What's marine biology?" "It's learning about the plants and animals that live in the sea," explained Miss Rabbit.
"Ooh," said Peppa.
"We're going to stay with Mrs. Kangaroo," continued Miss Rabbit. "She will teach us how to scuba dive in the Great Barrier Reef." "What an amazing prize for a competition," said Mummy Pig, a bit surprised. "Well, Peppa's drawing was very imaginative," said Miss Rabbit. "Her picture wasn't exactly like any fish I have ever seen, but it was a prize-winning picture." "I see," said Mummy Pig. "There's nothing wrong with a bit of imagination, is there?" "Of course, you, Daddy Pig and George will be coming to Australia too," Miss Rabbit told Mummy Pig. "How lovely," replied Mummy Pig. "Thank you, Mrs. Rabbit."
Peppa and her family are very excited to be seeing their friends in Australia again.
Hooray!
"We'll be leaving first thing tomorrow," said Miss Rabbit. "Right then," said Mummy Pig. "We'd better head to the shops and get everything we need for the trip." Peppa, George, Mammy and Daddy Pig headed to Mr. Fox's shop and told him what they needed. Mr. Fox got everything out. "Now," he said, "I think you'll also need some paper and colouring pens. You never know when they might come in handy." "I'm not sure we do," began Mummy Pig. "Trust me, Mummy Pig," Mr. Fox interrupted. "You'll definitely need these." "Oh, okay then," said Mummy Pig. "Thank you for your help, Mr. Fox. We must get going now so we can pack all of this." The next morning, Peppa and her family woke up very early and hopped on the aeroplane to Australia.
"Where's Miss Rabbit?" asked Daddy Pig. "I think she's finding her own way there," replied Mummy Pig. While Peppa, George, Mammy and Daddy Pig flew on an aeroplane, Miss Rabbit travelled to Australia by hot air balloon, helicopter and boat. Ahoy there! Amazingly, Miss Rabbit arrived in Australia at the exact same time as Peppa and her family. "Welcome to Australia, everyone," said Miss Kangaroo. "It's so good to see you," said Kylie Kangaroo, giving Peppa a big hug. After they were settled in, Mrs. Kangaroo went through the diving plan with Kylie, Peppa and Miss Rabbit. "There are so many amazing creatures to discover in the Great Barrier Reef," she explained. "It's an incredible place." Mrs. Kangaroo taught Peppa about diving and marine biology.
Wow!
"What does buddy up mean?" asked Peppa. "It means we are going to dive in a group," explained Miss Kangaroo. She held up a list of creatures they were going to see and count on their underwater adventure. Green sea turtles, orange clownfish, blue starfish, pink sea anemones, and even whales. "Wow!" gasped Peppa. She was so excited. Mrs. Kangaroo drove everyone to the boat. Then they hopped on board with their diving gear and headed out to the diving site. When the boat stopped, Mrs. Kangaroo gave Peppa and Kylie a special underwater list each. "It's important that we count the marine life carefully," she said. "If you spot anything unusual, let me know." Then Peppa, Miss Rabbit, Kylie and Mrs. Kangaroo jumped backwards off the boat. They dived deep down under the water to the reef. The divers saw lots of amazing plants and animals on the reef. They spotted 5 orange clownfish, 4 pink sea anemones, 3 brilliant blue starfish, 2 big green turtles, and 1 enormous whale. "Wow!" said Peppa. "It's so colourful down here." Peppa and Miss Rabbit followed the whale further into the reef. Peppa used her diving fins to swim as fast as she could to keep up, and Miss Rabbit paddled along behind her. The whale pointed its fin at a big rock. Peppa peered behind the rock and saw a fish that wasn't on Mrs. Kangaroo's list, poking its head out. "That looks just like the fish I coloured in," said Peppa. At the end of the dive, everyone climbed back on board the boat. "We counted so many creatures," said Peppa excitedly. "It was amazing. I also spotted a beautiful fish that wasn't on your list, Miss Kangaroo." "What did it look like, Peppa?" asked Kylie. "It looked a bit like a clownfish," said Peppa, "but not exactly." Said Mrs. Kangaroo. "Can you describe it a bit more, Peppa?" Peppa used the colouring pens from Mr. Fox's shop to draw the fish she had seen. It looked just like her picture from the aquarium. "Wow, that's a lovely fish, Peppa," said Kylie. "Peppa is very good at drawing," said Miss Rabbit. "I don't believe it," gasped Mrs. Kangaroo when she saw Peppa's drawing. "It looks just like a rare blue clownfish.
Wow!
That hasn't been seen for a while now. Where did you spot it, Peppa?" Peppa took everyone back to where she had seen the unusual fish. Mrs. Kangaroo had been searching for the blue clownfish for a long time. Peppa spotted the whale winking at her in the distance. "Thank you for showing us the fish, lovely whale," Peppa said, winking back. After Mrs. Kangaroo had taken lots of photographs of the fish, she signalled for everyone to swim up to the boat and head back to the shore. That afternoon, Mrs. Kangaroo and her family cooked a big meal to celebrate Peppa's amazing discovery. "What do you think of the Great Barrier Reef, Peppa?" asked Daddy Pig. "It's the most brilliant place ever," replied Peppa. "The fish are just like I imagined they would be." She held up her picture from the art competition. It looked exactly like the fish she had seen on her dive. Everyone laughed. Peppa loves the beautiful Great Barrier Reef. Everyone loves the beautiful Great Barrier Reef. The end. Peppa's Playdate. Today, Peppa is having a playdate at her house. Peppa has invited Mandy Mouse and Pandora and Peggy, the panda twins. "Why don't you get some toys out, Peppa?" says Mummy Pig. "Think about what your friends might like to play with." "But I don't know what my friends will want to do," sighs Peppa, getting lots of toys out of the cupboard to take downstairs. "Don't worry, Peppa," says Daddy Pig. "I'll set up some crafts for you to do." "And I'll set up some games for you to play," says Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig lays out all the craft things on the table. "Perfect," he says. "They'll love these," says Mummy Pig, setting up all the games in the living room. Ding dong! Just then the doorbell rings. "They're here!" shouts Peppa, running to the door. Peggy, Pandora and Mandy all go into Peppa's house. "Do you have a garden, Peppa?" asks Mandy. "Yes." "Great," says Mandy. "Come on everyone, let's go outside." The friends go to the garden and play lots of games. They play a game of princesses, pirates and giants. "Uh-oh," gasped Peggy. "I see a shadow of a big bad giant."
Oh no!
"Ah!" everyone shouts. "Snacks, anyone?" says Daddy Pig. "Oh, it's you, Daddy," says Peppa. "We thought you were a giant." "Each playdate is the best and we want to stay here all day," says Pandora. "Yes, we want to stay here all day," repeats Peggy. "It's time for Mandy, Pandora and Peggy to go home," calls Mummy Pig. "Aww," everyone sighs. "But we didn't do your craft, Daddy," says Peppa, "or play Mammy's games." "That's okay. You made your own fun, didn't you?" says Daddy Pig. "Yes!" everyone cheers. When Mandy, Peggy and Pandora all go home, Peppa asks, "Can I have my friends over for a play date tomorrow, Mummy?" Says Mummy Pig, looking at the mess. "How about next week?" "Or you could go to Mandy's house for a play date," suggests Daddy Pig. "Great idea," says Mummy Pig. Peppa loves play dates. Everyone loves play dates. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.